jump if you want to jump higher, generally this is one of the best exercises you can do. It's important to get the technique right though, and it takes a very long time. It's taken me a year for my technique to look like this, and this is probably the best it has ever looked ever in my life. And one thing that I changed was my grip width, because my hips are very externally rotated, so then my knees go out far pretty wide. So getting a wider grip here allows me to have my legs in a comfortable position, and I can still also catch it in a nice comfortable position here. So yeah, and then here I don't go too heavy because my training is like quote unquote like regressed, but I'm still training because I'm on load management right now due to my knee and my shoulder. So yeah, and with that being said, I also want to talk about the single leg touchdown, how that's one of the exercises I've been doing to kind of rehab back into jumping. Basically teaches control, like knee control, foot, like not foot control, like keeping a stable foot, having proper knee control, using kind of the glutes to have that proper stability, and like when you work on mobility, that's the thing you would do after is work on your stability, and then like those movement mechanics with the single leg touchdown basically helps translate that into your movements, which I've been noticing a lot of recently. So that's one of the things I've been noticing is in the power clean, I feel kind of like when I warm up with the single leg touchdown, I feel my glutes in a more active position, and keeping my shins more straight. As you can see, my shins are like a little bent, but then they straighten when I go up on that first pull. So yeah, and that's not the only thing. Same thing with like back squats you're gonna see here is I've also been learning to keep a stable foot, and then keeping control on the way down. You're gonna see I'm doing slow half squats after this, and you're gonna see this is the first few months of the training. My PR was like 185 for 2 at the time. I was actually able to do that, but here doing this really easily is like I attribute it a lot to actually focusing on my technique a lot of the time, because technique is very important when it comes to the power clean, because there are a lot of little intricacies that you have to work on. First is the first pull. You have to keep the arms straight on that first pull. You can't go too fast on the first pull. You want to pull it more or less like a deadlift. You want to keep the back angle straight. You want to keep the shoulders ahead of the bar. You want to bring the knees back, and then after that you got the second pull is where you jump, and then you don't want to kind of hit the bar too hard, or else you'll end up having it be too far, and you might possibly reverse curl it. You bring it up and then you jump, and then you kind of have that little brush, which is something I've also kind of cued recently, to kind of have more of a brush in the quad rather than like hitting the quad. And sometimes I do this. I will choose like an exaggerative cue, which is not something I would always recommend somebody else to do, but I do this for myself because it will work sometimes when I have like a bad habit problem. So a bad habit for me would be to kind of smack the bar instead of brush it, which would cause the bar to get too far away from me, and most of the time I would reverse curl it due to that, not because I wasn't keeping my wrist down. So instead, I would literally cue myself to not hit the bar, because I would hit the bar so excessively. So then when I would cue not to hit the bar, I would instead brush it because I know I'm going to get the bar contact anyway. So yeah, and then after that, it's the second pull. You're going to like get the wrist down, elbows up, bring it up. Kind of as your elbows bend, your knees bend, you kind of want to bring your like body down into that half squat using your upper body as well while your knees bend, but you don't want to overbend, so you don't like kind of like bring your knees too far up and then just kind of like drop into it. That's the thing, it's a lot of little intricacies, but yeah, I've been talking about that. Now we're on the back squats here. Yeah, so I've been learning to kind of have that control. My squat is still weird, but this is the only way I can really squat deep, at least. And then later in the future, I'm definitely going to have to find other ways to get deep knee ranges of motion to be able to load that, which shouldn't be too hard. I could probably just use leg press machines, but I just have to figure out a way to get heavy loading with that. And here I'm going slow, because going slow, like I can go decently heavy on back squats, but I have to go really slow so I don't feel any pain in my meniscus when I go really slow like this. This is also good for the tendons, because the tendons love heavy, slow resistance, which this isn't really too heavy for me, but I'm still trying to get back into it. But yeah, and I was talking about the single leg touchdown, how it's been helping me kind of have that control with like my glute stability, and then keeping that helps with keep the glute stability, and then keeping stable foot helps me keep it more stable, so it's like less pressure on my knee when I am stronger in stability and when I have good movement mechanics. And you can feel it too. I can just feel it translate, because I feel like my foot's kind of more glued to the ground, and then I feel kind of like more of a hinge motion, like I'm actually bringing my glutes back, and I'm actually kind of using them to take less pressure off of my knees, and have better muscle EMG activation, or I think that's, I don't know, better muscle recruitment, better combined muscle recruitment on these squats, using the right muscles that I'm meant to use at the right times simultaneously. So yeah, I definitely feel that actually translating into my lifts and improving that with that, plus load management, plus not over jumping. Doing that, I should definitely be able to get back into regular training and eventually going back to having full jump sessions. So yeah, and then with my shoulder, still kind of figuring that out, more or less. I'm just doing kind of the shoulder health workouts for now, and then just trying out different shoulder exercises, which it's been getting better and better. I've been getting like better and better exercises for my shoulder that are more kind of specific, more or less, to my shoulder pain and what I have. So like how my right shoulder blade kind of like shifts to the left. So I'm doing these external rotations, like laying flat down. I'm doing these external rotation holds, so then I can kind of teach my body to kind of have even shoulder blade movement, or shoulder blade activation. I get not activation, but rotator cuff activation on both shoulders, because that shoulder blade movement kind of means that I have a lot of lack of stability. And then I'm working on that with on one hand with this like banded external rotation exercise, and then I'm doing this kettlebell windmill exercise to learn better shoulder blade control. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next lift. Peace.